So not a great start for Darius Garland so far. His percentages have been pretty bad, and he's not shooting many free throws, so his true shooting is currently 41%. The advanced stats hate him, and he may statistically be like the worst player in the league so far when you take into account, a 20% usage rate and all that. But even so, this guy has not played a lot of basketball lately. Played 5 games of college. And then he's getting thrust into the NBA. That's going to be difficult for anybody. So I don't want to act like this is the final product with the dude or anything. I mean, I think he's got a lot of potential as a Jamal Murray type of point guard, I guess. Just the dude who can make shots off the dribble and maybe not an amazing playmaker, but good enough and all that. And I do think Garland has attempted to be that guy early on. I mean, a few of his three-pointers have been pretty daring. Some of them have been contested. He's also taken some step-back shots, and they haven't gone in, but, I mean, his form looks pretty alright, and, in an extremely small sample size of 5 games in college, he did go 11 for 23 from outside and 12 from 16 from the free throw line, so I'd like to think the guy can make shots. As far as why they haven't gone in so far, I don't know. Trae Young was not making threes to start last season, so sometimes it just happens. But there are other things about Garland's game that I think are interesting. For one, he can get into the paint. He can get by guys. I think this season he's attempted like 20-something shots in the paint or something like that. 29 to be exact in 9 games. And just looking at the highlights a bit, I think the thing with Garland right now, number one, he's not really inviting contact at the rim. He's shooting 42% from there, which is terrible. He's not exactly the biggest guy in the world. I mean, he's 6'1", 175 pounds, according to Basketball Reference. So it's either he has to be just amazing at finishing around dudes, or he needs to invite more contact and get to the free throw line. Now, for what it's worth, he's played pretty much all of his minutes with 2 bigs, whether it's Tristan Thompson and Kevin Love, or one of them and Larry Nance, whatever. So the spacing is never amazing, but at the same time, Garland has not proven himself to be good enough to where you give him all the spacing in the world. I mean, the reason the Cavs are not terrible right now is because of Tristan Thompson and Kevin Love, so it's Garland's job to play around that. And Sexton has been pretty good. So my off-season take of Garland is going to be better than Sexton does not look very good right now. But still, I do think Garland can get into the paint. I just think whether it's he goes in without a plan, or he goes to his floater too quickly, or he just isn't that good of a finisher and probably needs to get a little stronger. I don't know what it is, but the shots just have not been going in right now. And I do want to talk about the floater thing a little bit more. He takes quite a few. He has attempted 37 shots from between 3 feet and 16 feet. Granted, some of those are going to be pull-up jumpers, but a lot of them have been kind of like scoop shots or just some half floater, half jump shot thing, and they're simply not really going in. I guess all we can do is, it's either he needs to take an extra dribble into the paint and invite contact, or he just really needs to start making all of those shots, because not all of them have been bad shots. Some of them have, yeah, but more than a couple have been makeable, and he just hasn't been able to make them so far. But he does show some skills with breaking dudes down off the dribble. I did mention the threes earlier, how he has been a little too daring on them. Yeah, I mean, there have been a couple of like pull-ups in transition or off of a screen, and I mean, you admire the confidence, but at the same time, you might want to slow down on that one a little bit. Now, he has taken some good open ones that just simply haven't dropped, and that's fine. But, I don't know. We're only 9 games in, so I don't want to already have the idea of, well, Garland might have bad shot selection, but up to this point, he has not had the greatest shot selection. As far as the playmaking is concerned, I really have no idea. I mean, 4 assists, 2.5 turnovers, We're in 9 games. I don't know. I haven't watched the Cavs close enough to see every possession of whether Garland spots the open guy or not. But he clearly has not been lighting the world on fire as a playmaker, but I don't think that was the thing for him going into this. This is a guy who can get buckets at the point guard position, right? Now, if we dive into some other advanced things, NBA.com says that they've been running 7 pick and rolls a game with Darius Garland. He is in the 12th percentile, which would mean he's been really bad at it. I think a lot of that goes to the fact that he just can't make anything right now. I wouldn't freak out about that too much. So yeah, before we move on to like the rest of the team with Garland, I guess I could just sum up my take on Garland so far, which is his game is not surprising. Like, the dude he was supposed to be has pretty much been the guy he's been. He just hasn't made any shots so far. So hopefully they start going in, and hopefully he cleans up some shots a little bit, and maybe takes an extra dribble into the basket when he has the opportunity and stuff like that. Anyway, if we move on to the Cavs and looking at Garland's long-term placement with this team, again, it's been 9 games, and I think part of his struggles have just been he hasn't played a lot of basketball lately. But I think an interesting thing is that, you know, Colin Sexton, while he had moments as a playmaker last season, he spent a good chunk of the season being potentially like the worst statistical passer in the league. I mean, he ended up with 3 assists per game with a usage rate of 25. Okay, not amazing. Now, he's been better this year. He's been making shots like crazy, no doubt. I think Sexton is good. But if he's not going to be a playmaker, and if Garland's not going to be a playmaker, which we don't really know just yet, but screw it, we're already here, so I'm going to speculate. Is that going to be possible? It could be. I mean, if they're both just so good at making shots and they can both do stuff off the dribble, even if neither one of them is going to be a big-time assist guy, then it'll probably be fine. But are they going to be that? I don't know. I mean, neither one of them has set the world on fire. Sexton has gotten better, so that's good, but I don't know. Just some food for thought that could matter, could not matter at all. For what it's worth, through 9 games, they've got a positive net rating. Sexton and Garland together. So that's cool, I guess. And whether Kevin Love is on this team long-term or not, don't know. Tristan Thompson's been good. It's a contract season for him and all that, so I don't know. The Cavs could look completely different by next year, so yeah, but Garland, not very good so far, but I think he'll be okay.